Warm welcome to everybody who's here attending our today's webinar, and a warm welcome to our guest speaker today, as well as a very good friend, CA Maheshwarji, Maheshwar Marathe. I think I'm going to keep it short. I know most of you have been attending and listening to me every day, so I'll keep it short. Probably it will give us more time to listen to our guest speaker today. So, as you are all aware, this chamber was founded recently in 2020. We are headquarters out of Mumbai, and more details can be found on our website on casmb.org.in. And if you have missed any of our earlier webinars in the month of March as well as in the month of May, in fact, Maheshwarji had given a fantastic presentation in the month of March as well on top 10 initiatives and schemes of Indian government. So if you have missed that, you can watch it on our YouTube channel at CASMB India. And I'm going to not go into too much details, but as we all know that the whole reason behind forming this chamber was that MSMEs are key to Indian GDP, and they are the backbone of Indian GDP. And that's why helping them, especially during the tough times of COVID, it's very important that we help them and help them survive, as well as we take them, we empower them, and help them achieve the next level of success. So that's the key reason why we founded this chamber in December 2020 and had the official launch on 1st March 2021. We have listed out few objectives, and all in all, they all talk about empowering the MSMEs, helping them with understanding different things that can help grow their business, including one such initiative which we have today, where there are so many different government schemes. But we hear about 20 lakh crore, but how do I get it, right? That is a question that a lot of founders or MSMEs have. So we have tried to bring initiatives on Thursdays where our experts come and talk about how exactly you can benefit out of some of these schemes or initiatives of the government. We're also trying to bring different stakeholders, different pieces to the puzzle that are required, like recent technologies, recent government schemes, policies, or different research that is happening, so that our MSMEs can benefit out of knowing what are the good things that are happening out there. I'm sure most of you are familiar with our advisory board team as well as our management team, which is coming with a vast experience in the field of food, finance, as well as sales marketing, where typically these are the two key challenges: finance and sales marketing. So we also have a representation in 3 states, including Maharashtra, obviously, and Gujarat and Goa. And we are planning to have certain state-specific programs and initiatives in near future. This webinar series has been one such initiative and has had good response in last couple of months, where on every day we try to have a different theme, where Mondays we bring entrepreneurs, SME entrepreneurs who talk about their journey. Tuesdays we bring experts who have developed certain technologies that are available. We have heard experts in the field of turmeric processing, dehydration, jaggery processing, wine processing. Niftem presented their 34 technologies available for transfer. So we are trying to bring different technologies that are out there to the doors of the MSMEs. On Wednesdays, we run knowledge forum where on different topics. Yesterday, we had on influencer marketing and other digital media marketing options that are out there. And on Thursdays, a topic where a lot of MSMEs want to know more about, including schemes. Like last week, we had someone talk about cash flow management. Prior to that, we had an expert talk on Spurti, which is the scheme run by like a cluster scheme run by Government of India as well as state of Maharashtra. And through 32 past webinars, all of them have been uploaded on YouTube, and more than 3,000 people have watched it live, and more than 3,000 views are right now seen on YouTube. As we speak, we are touching almost 700 YouTube subscribers and hope to grow even further. Some of the initiatives, I'm sure most of you have been listening to me every day, so I'm not going to go into it, but Startup Buddy program is one where we are very passionate. We want to handle a lot of startups. We also plan to have a buyer seller meet, because that's another pain point of most of the MSMEs. They have a nice product, but they don't have uh, the right buyers, or they don't have buyers for their products. Then chamber investment. network is another where we have tried to match investors with the startups who are looking for funds. So that has also seen a really good success in last few weeks, I would say. And then industry defined problem, where we are seeking problem statements from industry, and through student competition we'll try to get the solution. So these were the 4 initiatives which we launched in the month of April, and they're still open and we are still working on it. In March, obviously we had a lot of webinar series Monday through Thursday, and again in May we have been running this webinar series. And then member meets is another of our marquee program, where all our members, they get to interact with each other and transact business. Women's Cell is another of our initiatives where we feel encouraging more and more women to become entrepreneurs is key. Obviously, as a member, you can be part of all our initiatives that have, and most of them, especially the webinar series, has been free. But some of them additional benefits you can also get if you're a member is you can also be getting a subsidized or a free registration to our partner associations. Like today we are being supported by Association of Food Scientists and Technologists, Mumbai chapter, All India Food Processors Association, NetProfan, as well as Entra-O2. So their events will also be available to our chamber members. Also access to the chamber office is available to our members. So whatever is needed for MSMEs to succeed, we want to do it as a chamber. Some of the achievements we have tried to list it out, where especially through unofficial and like WhatsApp groups, we are helping more than 250 food startups on a daily basis. A lot more are getting added. And through the formal startup buddy program also, we are helping many startups, especially in the field of food, to get connected to different stakeholders. 15 startups have already pitched their ideas, and 2 of them I'm very happy to say are in very advanced stages of getting funded through angel investors. Buyer seller meet, technology transfer, we have already worked on it, and in most cases we are in advanced stages of some of these novel technologies getting transferred to potential startups. We have tried to keep membership fee as low as possible, and similar to the categorization of micro, small and medium enterprises, we have kept the fees. And if you're having turnover up to 5 CR, services or manufacturing, doesn't matter, the fees is as low as 2,500 rupees. So thank you very much for everybody for listening to me. And if anybody has any questions, they can obviously reach out to me. This is my number as well as my email address, or to Diksha or Prajakta or anybody on our advisory board or the management team. We are always available to help you and help you achieve your dream and the next level. So with this, I take this opportunity, and I think Maheshwarji has already been on our platform. So I'm going to keep it short. Last time, I think we ran out of time. So I would rather give him a maximum amount of time. And he has been a practicing chartered accountant for almost 20 plus years, and a very well-known person in the field of finance, and especially in government related schemes and initiatives. And if anybody has missed his earlier lecture, I definitely would encourage to go and see more about trades and GEM and Samadhan and Udyam and all the 10 different initiatives, recently launched initiatives. He has very fantastically explained in his talk in the month of March. So with this, I hand it over to Maheshwarji. The floor is all yours. Please enlighten our audience here.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nilesh.
Yes, yes.
A warm good evening to all participants. Let us start with this knowledge sharing. For them also, it's a good to come to Maharashtra and have some good business setup here and avail these incentives. While talking on a lot of incentives, I normally refer to package scheme of incentive, because this is one basic incentive scheme for all manufacturers without any bar on any sector. This is a best incentive scheme for every manufacturer in India, in Maharashtra. May he be from MSME or even non-MSME. In MSME, maybe from micro, and even an investment of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs to investment of 50 crores. He's called as MSME for this PSI purpose, package scheme of incentive purpose. To non-MSME, large scale units, mega units. For all of them, this scheme is available, but they should be in manufacturing. That is the only requirement. Let me start with my presentation directly, friends. Basically two things: Maharashtra package scheme of incentive. 19 policy is the latest policy, and along with that, I'm just handling that women policy, which is anyways part of this PSI scheme only, but was issued separately for women entrepreneur. So they have some additional benefits. So that also I'll be handling in one or two slides. Basically, friends, package scheme of incentive, entire state of Maharashtra, for your information, is divided into 6 basic regions based on its locality and 7 zones based on level of industrial development. So, simple formula: the lower is the industrial development in any area, higher is the incentive percentage compared to the investment that the unit is making. So, how is this Maharashtra regions classified? So, these are 6 regions for our better understanding: Konkan region, Pune, Nagpur, Nashik, Aurangabad, and Amravati. And what are the zones? The zone is basically dependent on the industrial classification. So A means totally developed region, and like that, comparatively underdeveloped and totally underdeveloped. C, D, D plus, and then this new classification that has come compared to the last policy. The new zone has come in, which is Vidarbha, Marathwada, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, and Dhule is made one different zone for incentive purpose, and the incentive percentage is kept on a higher side. And then the seventh one is no industry district or say Naxal affected area or an aspirational district. Now this aspirational district is pronounced by the central government, and this basically includes those Naxal affected areas only. So this is basically the classification, and for everyone's information, Maharashtra, 80% of Maharashtra is D plus. That means totally industrially underdeveloped. So lot of opportunity. So some areas in and around say Pune, Mumbai, or bigger cities, that is classified as A, where there are no incentives. Otherwise, everywhere we get some or the other incentive, and in A zone definitely there are no incentives under PSI scheme, except one or two small incentives which are given specifically. So any incentive that starts from B zone. So there is a percentage which is specified. I'll come to that. And as the zone goes up, the incentive also goes up. The industrial it depends on the industrial development. So D plus is considered as totally industrially underdeveloped area. So as I mentioned, 80% of Maharashtra is wide open for us. It is a D plus zone. Government is welcoming us there to come and set us free. So we'll through this presentation we'll try to understand how it is. Wherever you have a question, let us go through the chat box. I'll come to the discussion once I conclude my presentation. It's a small presentation that way. Friends, just to start directly, the effective steps. कौन eligible है? या फिर if I have to apply for this subsidy, what should I have? Basic क्या होना चाहिए? So one, your concept is clear. What you want to make, what you want to manufacture is clear. You have formed an entity. That is, there is a constitution that you can be a proprietary, you can be a partnership, you can be LLP, private limited, whatever it is. There are even you can be a cooperative society. Yes, possible. So what you are is already defined. What do you want to be into? That is done. You have a piece of land that is in your possession that can be owned, rented, both possible. And once the entity is formed, once the land is acquired, you apply for this MPCV, that is consent to establish. So your intention with the MPCV is also clear. So other than land, it is all about the intentions are made clear. You have formed an entity, you have acquired the land, and you have applied MPCV, 3 basic steps which come safe anyone to go and apply. because the primary application goes at concept level only. This is what I want to invest. This is where I want to go into production. This is what is my schedule of implementation. So these things we need to give to the government, and based on that projection itself, the government starts processing your application, and then the further steps follow. So I'm sure you are now the minimum that I need and to for my primary application. So further few more details relating to this period of operation of PSI 2019. So operation period is normally the 5-year period. Every 5 year government brings in a new policy. For example, 2013 policy was there effective till 2018. That was extended by 1 year. So the wording is like this only, that is up to 24 March or till the new package scheme of incentive comes into picture. So many a times they extend the policy by 1 or 2 years, or many times it comes on time also. So let us hope that this policy continues till 24 or any other period that is then specified. What is the coverage? So industrial units in private sector, cooperative sector, or public sector, as I mentioned already. Category of unit. Now there are, to keep it very simple, all manufacturing units are eligible, but scheme says कि इस में आपका होना चाहिए. तो industrial units that are listed under post schedule of Industries Development Act. So almost all types of manufacturing units are covered under this post schedule. Manufacturing enterprise as defined under MSMED Act. Additionally, ये भी दे दिया. Now MSMED Act is a blanket manufacturing definition, and that includes all entities whose investment is up to a certain level. Now, very recently we all know in July 2020 the definition of MSME is also changed, and as per new definition 99% of the manufacturing, as far as manufacturing is concerned, 99% of the manufacturing units will now be MSME. They'll either be micro or small, or they'll be medium enterprise. Then the information technology manufacturing units, then the biotechnology manufacturing units, and mechanized food. Now, as Nilesh ji is close to this food processing industry, I'm sure based on your names also I was able to make out many of you might be from, say, food and agro processing, but the manufacturing of food, that is processing of food, so that is specifically included. So these 5 types of units, entities, are very much eligible. In short, the service entity is not eligible for incentive under this particular scheme. Now, just to go ahead, the units manufacturing the following products now, who are not applicable, who are not eligible. So, as is expected rightly, beer, liquor, cigarette, bidi, gutka, pan masala, any other product by central banned by the governments, or units manufacturing the textile, because textile has a separate policy, hence textile is kept out of this particular policy. So now to come to the real policy definitions or the real policy related provisions. Now there are 2 things. One can be a new unit or an expansion unit. Now this subsidy is available for the new unit as well as the expansion unit. What is new, what is expansion is properly defined under the policy. So any unit, as I said, is a private, cooperative, state, joint sector, any type of constitution it can be. But the last bullet point is very, very important. Any taluka, in any taluka where there is no existing unit. So for example, I have a unit in Thane and I want to start one more unit in, say, Pune. So Pune unit will be considered as new unit for incentive purpose. Now, what is the difference between the new unit and expansion? I'll come to expansion, but once you say expansion, the percentage of subsidy directly goes down by 25%. So even though for entity purpose, for like me as an entrepreneur, the Pune unit might be expansion unit for me as a business, but for incentive purpose, it's a new unit because this second unit is coming other than the taluka where I am presently working. That is, Thane mein hu, Pune mein laga raha hu. So Pune becomes my new unit. Provided that, of course, such unit is not an existing unit, at least one of the effective step. Now we already discussed the effective steps. कि entity formed रहना चाहिए, लैंड का एक्विजिशन होना चाहिए, एमपीसीबी का कंसेंट टू एस्टैब्लिश मेरा एप्लीकेशन गया हुआ रहना चाहिए। दैट मीन्स उससे पहले मेरा पूरा का पूरा केवाईसी हो जाता है। अगर एमपीसीबी को एप्लीकेशन करना है तो लॉट ऑफ केवाईसी, बैंक अकाउंट, पैन, वह सब हो गया। तो one effective step should be after 1419 because this is 19 policy. Even before this there was 13 policy. You might have a situation wherein all effective steps are completed before 1419. In that case there is a slight additional clause which we need to fulfill, or it is very simple. You will get the, you will still get the incentive, but it will be lower of 13 or 19 policy. So for a new unit, as of now, for a fresh entrepreneur, at least one of the effective steps. That means suppose entity is formed in say March 19 only, but you got the land possession in April, May, or whatever. Now even in 2021 you got the land, so you are very much eligible for 2019 policy and its incentives. It is not formed out of now. This is very important. This is for those who are innovate, are trying to say that this is new unit, but we need to be about it. It is not formed as a result of re-establishment, mere engine ownership. Aaj, there were 3 shareholders, so now you have become 5 shareholders, or there has come in a or any investment just because of change ownership. No present hiring, new partners coming in form of takeover of the unit. No, you are not eligible. Change in constitution. So till date, I would say partnership now limited. I converted myself to LLP. No. So this kind of re-establishment, reconstruction, reconstitution should not be the case. One very important thing. Along with the new unit, let us try to understand what is expansion also. Very important, very useful also. Now, an investment shall be regarded as expansion or diversity makes all after 1st of April 19. Means even expansion related application has to be after 2019 April. And there are 3 specific criteria. The additional fixed capital investment in additional production manufacturing facility for manufacture of the same product, products of existing or unit, or manufacture of different products, as the case may be, provided it satisfies 3 conditions. That in short, the expansion can be in the same product, it can be in new product also. 3 specific conditions have to be fulfilled. And again, very simple to understand. Expansion, diversification. This is just an example I have taken. I'll come to the timelines also. What are the 3 conditions? If you have to be called as expansion, then you are increasing the production capacity. That is your installed capacity in whatever units you are measuring it. It can be kgs, liters, horsepower, or for that matter, any measurement, and your installed capacity is going up by minimum 25%. You are investing minimum 25% of your percent of the levels. These are the 3 very minimal conditions which any project it has to apply for subsidy under expansion has to comply with. A lot of time is given to comply with this. Not necessary today you have to complete your investment, you have to expand your capacity. Reason time is given 3 years, 4 years to expand this. The basis for any investment to be calculated, the as far as investment is concerned, would be 31st March of the previous year. So as on say last 31st March, whatever was my gross block, compared to that, you should have a plan to invest at least 25% of that. In the present case, suppose 10 crores is gross block. So you have to plan for a minimum 2.5 crores, and it can be into any asset, not necessarily it is in monthly. It can be into land, it can be into building. But yes, cumulative condition of expansion of capacity should also add with. In short, all these 3 conditions are cumulative in nature, and the gross block is also of the entire assets put together, not necessarily it is only the machinery. Suppose in your balance sheet, say land was acquired 35 years back, and the land is say hardly in 2-3 lakhs, whereas in the new expansion unit you have a land and building major of it. At the same time, machinery you are complying with, your installed capacity going up, fine, there's no restriction on that. You compare the gross block. So very important to note this. And now the details of it. Additional capex should exceed 25% of gross block of existing unit immediately prior to setting up of the additional facilities as on 31st March of the previous year. I already mentioned this. Minimum additional capex, fixed capital investment. Now this is one thing which, depending on the type of entity, it has to comply. It has to be 10 crores in case of large scale unit or a specialized LSI. That is, I'll come to the definition of it. In case of MSME, non-MSME, but special LSIs, it is minimum 5 crores. And for MSME, which will more of focusing on, minimum investment is 25 lakhs. I was talking about even an entity is having a investment around 20 lakhs can also apply for PSI. But now comes the thing, if you have to be a new unit, there is no restriction, there is no limit on investment. But if you have to be an expansion unit, investment even for MSMEs is kept at 25 lakhs. So small expansion, diversification, employment, we already in non-supervisory category. That means labor should increase by 10%, at least to the extent of 10% of the pre-expansion level, and a cumulative condition again, keeping the interest of 80% of such additional labor should again be a local labor. Now, a local person is again defined not necessarily a Maharashtrian only, but a resident of Maharashtra or a resident outside non-Maharashtrian, but who is staying in Maharashtra for 15 years, he will also qualify to be a local person for policy purpose. Friends, we have now learnt about who can apply, what is the minimum that I should have in my hand. I should be minimum a manufacturer, that we have already learnt. Now let us come directly to कि कितना मिलेगा, कैसे मिलेगा. So here is the table which is in simple explaining it. I am MSME. Now MSME definition we all know. Up to 50 crores of plant and machinery and 250 crores of turnover. Entity now be called as MSME. That is 50 and 250 is the definition for medium sector enterprise. But there is no distinction between micro, small or medium here, at least for PSI purpose. You are micro, same is the percentage. You are small, same is the percentage. And medium also, you are eligible for same incentive. Now to keep it simple, I am SME. Same time, my total investment is not more than 50 crores. Now, this is something we should note. Definition of MSME for PSI purpose, and definitely this is the definition which was issued before amendment to MSMED Act, because MSMED Act was amended in July 2020. This definition in 2019, wherein otherwise the MSME had a definition of 10 crores of plant and machinery under the older definition. But what Maharashtra did was, even though 10 crore का limit था MSME के लिए plant and machinery का, what they did was to give better incentive to even those units which are out of MSME as per old definition, but whose investment is less than 50 crore on all the assets put together. They were given the incentives, the higher incentives of MSME. So post amendment of this definition under MSMED Act, which hired the limits of MSME definition to 50 crore and 250 crore, still the PSI related definition is not yet amended, or it is kept as it is. So Let us understand, keeping all the facts intact. So for 2 minutes, let us forget what the MSMED Act says. But to be called as MSME or to take the benefit of these particular percentages of incentive, your total investment in fixed asset, that is your capex, should not be more than 50 crores. Now, MSMED Act talks about 50 crores of just plant and machinery, but PSI is talking about 50 crores in all the assets put together. So if you are MSME, as this particular say slide, that your investment is not crossing 50 crores, you are MSME, and now your eligible percentage as compared to the fixed investment is like this. Let us take C zone for example. Here it is, point number 3. The ceiling as a percentage capital investment is 3%, and number of years for which you can enjoy this incentive 7 years. Now let us try to understand what. On the day you start your commercial production, we have to again inform the DIC that my production has started, I have completed with my investment, and now the total investment is say 11 crores, for example. Even though application was saying 10 crores, actual investment has become 11 crores. 40% of 11 crores is what you are eligible for incentives on your investment. So eligible investment into 40% is the total eligible incentive for. And within a period of 7 years, over a period of 7 years, you have to avail this. So it's simple to understand. Just one thing I would like to highlight is Vidarbha, Marathwada, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurga, and Dhule. These 5 districts in 2019 policy, they have made one more zone. They have carved out a zone of these 5 districts, and they have given them some additional incentive, and that is 80% of their investment. So till date, all these 5 districts were into this only कि अगर A zone में हो तो nil है, B zone में तो 30% है. Anyways, they were into more of into D plus zone only. But still, as per new policy, if you are D plus zone, your incentive is only 60%. But अगर in 5 district में हो, सिंधुदुर्ग में हो, धुले में हो, तो you will get 80%. Reason for this, again, same comparatively focus area where the government wants wet industries. It is, these are the districts where we cannot call them as no industry, they cannot be called as no industry districts. They cannot be called as Naxal affected districts. They are neither the focus districts. So these 5 districts were carved out of the total list of areas, and they were given a higher incentive of 80%. So I'm sure you are able to match with me so far. Anything is there? Yes, we'll definitely discuss out on this. I've taken an example now. So for example, here suppose the fixed capital investment, it's at 10 crores. The third column, if you are cost of project of rupees 10 crores, will come to C zone only. 10 crore ka 40%. How much is the incentive? 4 crores. Years, over a period of 7 years, you have to avail it. So yearly it comes to 7 lakhs. Friends, you cannot avail yearly more than 57 lakhs. This is very clear from this. Now, you must have already come to know, just because you have 10 crores, government is not going to give you this subsidy. They want you to run the business. This subsidy is to run and not to set up the business. Because in the past, we have these experiences wherein business setup हो गया, सब आ गया, incentive लेके निकल गए. ना ही इन्वेस्टमेंट आया, ना ही एम्प्लॉय आया, ना ही इन्वेस्टमेंट ने हो गया, ना ही income government ko mila. So that is not the case here. Here you have to invest, you have to start the business, you have to run the business, and then over of this particular years, 7 saal, 10 saal, you will get the subsidy through RTGS. So we have to produce few documents at the end of every year, and based on my performance, my running of the business, I get this subsidy. So I'm sure we are all clear about this. If any doubt is there, you please go to the chat box, as I already told you. Yes, there is a provision for carry forward of these incentives. Suppose in one particular year, again go for the same example, C-zone, I have to claim say 57 lakhs. Now this is directly linked to few of the things which I'm coming to. But suppose despite all my running the business, I could make only 40 lakhs of incentive for that year. So whether that 17 lakhs is lapsing, no, answer is the 17 lakhs will be carried forward and we can avail it in the next year if the performance is better in the following year. So this was about MSME, the previous slide. Now what about non-MSME? As we move on from once we get out of this 50 crores investment limit, we will be now called as the large scale unit. There is one more classification between the MSME and LSI, that is called as special LSI. Now, these are the investment qualifying investment limits. For example, let us again come to C-zone only. If I have to be, say, large scale unit, then my investment minimum has to be 500 crores of investment in my fixed capital. For large scale employment is specified with 750 people direct employment. Now, very normally employment will be on contract. So here it has to be direct employment on my role. So in case of C zone, maximum ceiling of the incentive on fixed capital incentive becomes 40%, number of in 7 years. So again, as I said, let us look as far as the government is concerned, they would like to give them few advantages like say good land rate or availability of land as requirement. Those things, yes, can be given government. As far as percentage of incentive is concerned, there is much of a difference. But important which we can is in the earlier policy, 2013 policy, if you come out of MSME, once you come out of MSME, the percentage of incentive as compared to your FCI was on the low. MSMEs were given better incentives, whereas the LSIs were on a lower. But for the new C, the incentives are kept as on the at par with MSME as far as percentage is concerned. Like for example, Vidarbha Marathwada, again these 5 districts, they will still get 80% subsidy if they are investing 100 crores and say 300 direct employment. And for these no industry or this last category, so 100 crore and only 250 direct labor. There, instead of 10 years, they are giving it for 9 years. Category, again, come to C zone only. This is called as the and ultra mega units, wherein if you see 1000 crores of investment, 1500 direct employment, here the percentage of subsidy is not mentioned, but the percentage is a negotiated percentage. That means you can, the industry and government, they sit together, they discuss the importance of this particular industry in this particular region area. The importance is defined on the basis of the employment itself, the investment itself. And this subsidy can even be a negotiated 100% subsidy also. It depends. There are examples in our area wherein these large units investing say 1000, 2000 crores in infrastructure, and they are getting 100% subsidy to be encashed over a period, again say negotiated period of incentive also. This is one more third category which is called as ultra mega unit. So again, just for our information, all this is fine कि मैंने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया, मुझे इन्वेस्टमेंट से लिंक्ड सब्सिडी कितना मिलने वाला ये भी मुझे समझ में आ गया. Now how do I encash it? मुझे how do I really encash it? Give me a minute, just a minute. Yeah, sorry. So finally, this incentive should be encashed. Now we are coming to that particular area. So suppose my investment is 10 crore, my eligibility is 4 crores. Now this 4 crores divided by say 7, so around 54 lakhs was my annual eligibility. इस 57 lakhs को मैं कैसे लूंगा? तो yearly, how will you calculate my eligibility? 57 lakhs, as I mentioned, you have to run the business. Your running business will will be based on your performance parameters. So this eligibility, the recovery of subsidy is on my performance parameters. First is linked to my GST. So the more you collect GST, you have better chances Any problem? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Can I continue?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, just a minute. Presentation is visible? No.
No.
Start it again. Yeah. Visible?
Yes.
Okay. So friends, one basic parameter of financial performance is my GST collection. जितना ज़्यादा सेल होगा उतना ज़्यादा मेरा GST collection होगा. So to keep it simple, not to make it complicated, 57 lakhs का अगर collection है SGST का, that is only that 9%. If you are you get 57 particular year, just about now to this form of SGST, your turnover should be somewhere 60 crores, right? 60 crores into 9%. If you are into that 8%, right? So that MSME shall include units as per definition of government. Now definition part we are very clear now that 50 crore ka total new MSME units will be eligible for basket of incentive, which includes now we need to recover this 57 lakhs through this entire basket. Wherever there is a shortfall, the second comes to my rescue. If the second there is a shortfall, third comes to my rescue. The total quantum of incentive will be linked to fixed capital investment. We already know the total quantum of incentive, excluding the incentive of electricity duty and waiver of stamp duty. Now, if I have to tell you what is this package, the package is of 5 things. One is the GST refund. Second is the interest subsidy. Third is the power subsidy. Fourth is the exemption in electricity duty, which is around 8 to 9% of the bill amount. And fifth is of the stamp duty waiver. We will now come to that. Even before this, just let me spend 1 minute on this. Any unit which wants to say even buy a land in the beginning, even before you are going into any other thing, you want to buy a land, you have that stamp duty exemption under this particular package. You need not pay any stamp duty on purchase or lease of the land. That is one occasion where you need to pay the stamp duty. There is one more occasion, which is of mortgage of properties to the bank in case of bank loan. Even in case of stamp duty on mortgages, you need not pay the stamp duty, and we get the exemption certificate from the government. So in both the cases, the stamp duty exemption is already there as part of package scheme. Second exemption of electricity duty is also there. You need not pay duty from the date of commercial production. So again, a saving of 8%. So other than these are the fixed incentives to any unit. These are not linked to your performance. Other than that, what are the three things which are linked to your performance are your industrial policy, that is GST linking, your interest subsidy linking, and your power tariff linking. These are the three things which are linked to your annual receipt of your subsidy. Any doubt, any query, we can handle this. The calculation part, yes, we can handle it case to case basis. Now let me come to this particular topic of कि GST को कैसे ultimately calculate करना है. Now in case of MSME, what the government has said is कि 100% of जो SGST है. Now I have given the calculations also. Like for example, GST applied is 18%. Out of that, SGST and CGST 9% each. So 100% of SGST in case of MSME only can be taken for refund purpose. And as I said, if there is a shortfall, then we go to the interest subsidy. I'm coming to that. But this 100% of SGST is only in case of MSMEs. I'm coming to the LSIs now. Here the distinction is very clear. यानी MSME को advantage ज़्यादा. Eligible LSI unit shall be offered investment promotion subsidy on 50% of gross SGST. There, if the collection was say 50 lakhs, you were eligible for 50 lakhs of refund. But here, if the collection is say 50 lakhs, your eligibility in case of large scale industry is only 25 lakhs. That is 50% of SGST. SGST, very important to note. Now, eligible special LSI unit shall be offered 40% of, now this is net SGST. So total SGST on sales minus the input tax credit on purchases, whatever remains. Suppose in our same example, SGST collected it say 50 lakhs. Say take a lower side credit, say 10 lakhs was the credit which was availed by me. So your net SGST becomes 40 lakhs. 40 lakh ka 40%. So 16 lakhs is the only eligible amount which is linked to GST during the year. So distinction is very clear. In case of MSME, 50 lakhs is the eligibility. In case of large scale unit, 25 lakhs is the eligibility. In case of special LSIs, only 16 lakhs becomes the eligibility. Suppose, as I said, the GST linking, there is a shortfall. So I now move on to the interest subsidy. In many cases, as part of planning, we suggest to many of our clients, where, for example, say a very recent example, a cashew manufacturer, his rate of GST is only 5%. So SGST linking, if I start doing, SGST is only 2.5%. So आपने 100 करोड़ का अगर बिजनेस किया तो आपका somewhere 2.5 करोड़ का GST बनने वाला है. 10 करोड़ अगर है तो 25 लाख का ही बने. Only 25 lakhs of say SGST you are going to collect. In that case, as part of your planning, you can have more term loan, maximum eligible term loan, so that the interest paid on term loan comes to your rescue in case of shortfall of SGST. Now, what is the provision? Eligible new enterprises will be eligible for interest subsidy in respect of interest actually paid to bank and public financial institutions. The amount of interest subsidy will be calculated at 5% of not the interest, 5% of the loan amount. So it is a substantial subsidy. Suppose you are paying at 10%, suppose the interest paid during the year is say 30 lakhs. So the subsidy which is eligible to you at 5% becomes 15 lakhs, 50% of it. One very clever additional limit which the government has put in is to avail that 15 lakhs in our example, your minimum electricity paid bill should be 15 lakhs. Why this additional criteria? Because there may be a case wherein you have started the unit, you are paying the interest, but your factory is not running, or your factory is running at 10% capacity, 20% capacity. Government wants to ensure that the better you are running your capacity, it is earning for you, then only you get the incentive. In a way, if you have to look into this, this is kind of a taxing provision for the MSME, because this is available only to the MSME. But this additional criteria has to be fulfilled. Suppose in my example, the total electricity bill paid is only said 10 lakhs. So my total interest eligibility becomes only 10 lakhs. Just to move on, power tariff subsidy for 36 months, 1 rupee per unit. Suppose there is a shortfall here in GST collection, there is a shortfall in your interest availability, then that shortfall can be made up from power tariff subsidy. Now, what is the provision? Eligible new MSMEs will be eligible for power tariff subsidy other than A zone, naturally. The subsidy will be to the tune of 1 rupee per unit for the units located in Vidarbha, all these areas, the Ratnagiri, Sindhudurga, Northeast Maharashtra, Marathwada, and it is 0.5% per units in other areas of the states for 3 years from the date of definitely commencement of the commercial production. Units in A zone anyways are not eligible for this particular incentive. Now, one more thing which we learned was exemption from electricity duty. Now, this is one important thing. Even A zone units of particular nature can avail this subsidy. All eligible new units in group C, D, D plus areas and non-industry district Naxal affected areas are totally exempted from payment of electricity duty for a period not exceeding 15 years. So this is in fact available for across the EC period, I should say. Now, group A and group B areas are also enjoying this benefit if they are 100% export oriented EOUs, IT manufacturing units, biotechnology units, and necessary notification, yes, has to be issued. But these 3 units, these 3 entities, even though they are into A and B zone, like for example, in Pune, a lot of IT manufacturing units in say Hinjawadi, we all know, they are enjoying this benefit of electricity duty exemption. Yes, there are few things they should be registered under that STPI. Those things are there. Yes, additional requirement is there, but they are enjoying this tariff subsidy, that this exemption of electricity duty also. As I mentioned, I think in detail, I already spoke about the stamp duty exemption. It is available on any purchase of land, lease of exemption will be available again for IT, BT manufacturing units. BT, IT units of private parks. In public parks and private parks, 100%, 75% it depends. Mega projects, 50% for first conveyance deed only. So this is one more additional subunit which is put in. Eligible new expansion unit will also be eligible. This is applicable for expansion as well as new unit during their investment period, definitely. So now separate the notification numbers under Stamp Act, they're all in place, all units, the new units, they are very much getting this subsidy. We are experiencing this on day in and day out. So this subsidy is definitely available. Friends, with this, say this package scheme of incentive, very important, which is linked to the investment, which is linked to your running of business. We have, in a way, we have concluded that particular part. Now we are coming to a few additional incentives which are eligible for MSMEs only. Now, now what is the reason that these additional incentives are given? Government says additional incentive to promote quality competitiveness. ZDE scheme, we all know, zero defect, zero effect. R&D, technology upgradation, water energy conservation, cleaner production measures. These are the things which are now in a lot of discussion. We all industry people, we are moving towards a cleaner production measures. We are moving towards R&D, the ZDE. So to promote this, these additional incentives are given to the MSMEs. Now the first category is for only for expansion. Now till date, this particular word expansion was not used in 2013 policy. In 2019 policy, they are specifically using this word for expansion projects, and naturally so for technology upgradation. The first one, we all know about a scheme of central government which gives 15% or 15 lakhs, whichever is lower, for technology upgradation under CLCSS scheme. So central government scheme is already there. State government is giving additional subsidy of 5% or 25 lakhs. The quantum here, the upper cap is on a higher side, though the percentage is on lower side compared to central government. The maximum available subsidy is 25 lakhs. So 5 crores of plant and machinery expansion, and you get 25 lakhs additional incentive. And again to all MSMEs only. Little bit.
स्टेटस आता चेक केलं फॉर्म टू फॉर्म तर मी ते बँक पासबुकचं कोणाचं आहे किंवा काय आहे ते सध्या स्टेटस दिलेलं आहे, काय फॉर्म स्टेटस आहे. तर मी आता संदीप शिंदेशी फोन करतोय पण त्यांना लागत नाही.
Diksha, can you mute?
काय काय डॉक्युमेंट
I have
काय
actually, but
I'm trying to mute.
कोणाचा
Maheshwarji, I think you can continue.
चालेल चालेल मी एकदा बोलून घेतो माहिती घ्या.
No issue. So let him continue. I'll also continue. Friends, so basically these are for expansion related projects. The project, as I said, 5% is for technology upgradation. 5 crore tak ka aapka investment hai, you get 25 lakhs. 75% of the subsidy on expenses incurred on quality certification like ISO, and you all know better than me. You are being into many of them. You are into being food processing.
कसं होतं
Quality
कुठल्याही
certification
फार्मर चालतात भारतातले
are
टेक्निकल.
eligible for 1 lakh of.
फक्त प्रश्न असा आहे की आपला प्रोजेक्ट समजा त्या एरियात आहे तर प्रोजेक्टचा उद्देश काय आहे.
Maheshwarji, एकच मिनिट. Yeah, go ahead. I think.
Okay. Friends, third one, 25% subsidy on additional capital equipment acquired for cleaner production measures, limited to 5 lakhs. Now, cleaner production measures, we all know, like a few pollution control related, some effluent treatment related, or any other new technology. There we can get 5 lakhs more. 75% subsidy on expenses incurred on patent registration, limited to 10 lakhs for national and 20 lakhs for international patents. Now, this is all linked to our expense, what we are incurring on all these things. 75% of cost of water audit limited to 1 lakh. So one more incentive. 75% of cost of energy audit. All these things are linked to, as I mentioned, or are for raising our own bar. So all R&D related expenditure. 50% of the cost of capital equipment under the measures to conserve recycle water limited to 5 lakhs. Now, anyone wants to install an effluent treatment plant. So this is the subsidy what he gets, he is eligible to get. 50% of the cost of additional capital equipment for improving energy efficiency limited to again 5 lakhs of rupees. Again, all MSMEs only are eligible for this particular incentive. Anyone who has applied for PSI, who has started his unit, who is now into that getting the eligibility certificate, should remember that in addition to whatever investment linked subsidy is eligible, he is very much eligible for all these chota incentives also. Now, in addition to that, 75% of the cost of credit rating limited to 40 lakhs. Now, this is something called as MSME rating. This is not something the credit rating which is done by the RBI listed entities for bank driven rating. This is MSME rating for my own purpose. But I'm getting it done for my purpose, my various maybe customer driven purposes only, also supplier driven purposes also. So there I can get 40,000 more. One more thing which is introduced in 2019 policy is about MSME listing. Now here around 6 lakhs of expense based on a SMEs, that's what the policy says, and lot of scope. I don't think 250 entities definitely after 1419 are registered under MSME under the SME stock exchange, up to 6 lakhs. But yes, the expenditure for listing on SME exchange is definitely more than this in multiple times. But yes, the expansion project of MSME Group A area fulfilling the eligibility criteria will also be eligible for standalone incentives as specified. Now, very important to note is all these incentives, as we discussed in A, B, and C, are eligible for A category zone also. So, percentage is 80%. If you are into food processing, your eligibility is 80 plus 20, so 100%. What are those units which are eligible for this additional 20%? So simple: food agro processing unit, farmer producer companies, unit set up under government assisted food parks, eligible green energy biofuel manufacturing units, unit carrying out industry 4.0 activity. And one more important thing is these units will get 2 more years to claim this incentive. So because the limited, say 7 years ho gaya, 10 years ho gaya, I could not encash, take 2 more years. So these are the thrust areas, we can call them as, and the thrust areas are given 20% more and 2 years more to claim the incentive. However, in any case, the total incentive will definitely not exceed 100%. We all should agree to that. Now, we already discussed this, the yearly cap, but just to understand, the amount of incentive to be disbursed to MSME LSI units every year will be limited to the total quantum of incentive divided by number of years as per the applicable eligibility period. For mega, ultra mega EC period is where the period is more than 10 years, the yearly limit on disbursement amount shall be equal to, we all know, 1/10, or because it is a negotiated subsidy. So still in that case, industrial promotion subsidy sanctioned for a particular year, whichever is low, even in that case, this 1/10 criteria will be applicable. Carry forward, I already told you, wherever there is a shortfall in claiming the subsidy because of any reason, the lower activity, suppose that there is a shortfall of say 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, whatever. And in the next year, suppose the activity is on higher side, we can definitely claim the incentive. I also covered the application format of it. I maybe run a little bit through these points because already we are 7:15, 7:12. Application, friends, is very simple. I should say again, you have these 3 things you are in your hand. The application is ideally an online application. Only thing is, because of some reason for last 2 years, all online things have stopped in the state of Maharashtra. Very sad to say that everything is started again manually. Reasons, politics of it, I'll not go into that. We are all we all know what it is, how it is happening, at least in Maharashtra. Hope that the things will again go online very shortly. The investment period, as I was mentioning in the beginning itself, for MSME, it is 3 years. You start the investment today, you get 3 years to keep your investment going on. But any industry, definitely it will take 1.5 years or maybe maximum 2 years to start the construction process, bring all in machinery, start the commercial production. But 3 years is given in the policy. For LSI units, 4 years is given. For mega units, 5 years are given. And higher power committee cabinet or such greater period, which, as I said, all negotiated for ultra mega projects. So 3 years is definitely there for MSMEs. The investment period now will be counted from the date of submission of application or any period which you are specifying as your investment period, which can be given in the application that my period will start from this particular date. So from that particular date, 3 years will be counted. Or this date should be within the scheme period, and the asset acquired prior to and beyond the investment period will not be considered naturally, except land. The last but one red line. However, the land cost prior to submission of valid application shall be considered for fixed capital investment. Now, what should be within the scheme period? Now, scheme period for us is 1/4/19 to 31/3/24. My investment start period should be within this period. Not necessary you complete your investment within this period. Your investment start date can be, say, even March 24. From that day, you can get 3 more years. But yes, beyond that 3 years and before the commencement, no expenditure other than land is eligible for the incentives. Now, one more curtailment provisions are there. That is again well defined in terms wherever there is a delay in commencement of commercial production. To the extent of delay, the period and incentives are curtailed. So anyone has any specific into this, we can go into that definitely. If a unit has completed all effective steps, I was mentioning this in the beginning. Suppose you have completed all your steps even before 1/4/19, you had not applied, you had not started the commercial production also, you can still apply. The incentive will be lower of policy 13 or policy 19. For such units, the investment made within investment period from the date of application only anyways, because you have not started the commercial production, you still have chance to invest, apply, and take whichever is lower incentive. So as simple as that. Only 3 slides on women entrepreneurship. A simple bottom line is the owner of the business, 100% ownership should be with the women entrepreneur. This is definitely a welcome move. The women members of the family will get ownership in a way. It is empowering them without any exception. It is 100%. If it is a proprietary, anyways, 100%. Partnership, LLP, private limited, 100% ownership has to be with the women. And second and only requirement is 50% of the employee should be women employee. These are the only 2 things, but a very good policy, I should say. Even for A and B zones, the entity will get C zone benefits. This is what I have listed. Terms and conditions of the women entrepreneur policy. Businessmen in A and B region will receive subsidy of C region. C region and D region will receive D plus region, and D plus will receive 100%. Capital subsidy will be received. So anyone who wants to start says business in say Pune is A and B zone, he will get subsidy of C zone, that is 40%. So a welcome move in a way. And additionally, there is a fixed incentive also, which is A and B zone, 20%, 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 100 lakhs. This is in addition to these percentages. For A and B zone, 15% of capex you will get as incentive. C zone 15%, D zone 20%, D plus zone 25%, or maximum limited to 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs. But this is in addition to the defined subsidy under PSI. So suppose a unit in C zone, his investment, again our own example, say 10 crores of investment, 4 crore तो women entrepreneur है इसलिए मिलेगा C zone का, plus 15% sub 25 lakhs is the eligibility. Friends, with this formal presentation, I come to an end. You have any doubts, we can. I'm stopping the presentation now. I'll go to the chat box also. Uh, Presentation, yes, I'll definitely mail it to you. Is it applicable to winery? If it is alcohol, Nilesh ji, what is your view? Winery?
Not applicable.
Yes, thank you. So I don't think there are any other questions in chat box. Anything else we can definitely discuss.
Yeah, people can
Hello.
unmute and also ask.
Sir, what is PSI, sir? Public
Yeah, please
sector
go on.
incentive. Public sector incentive, PSI for
I didn't get you, sir.
Package scheme incentive.
what, sir?
PSI stands for?
Package scheme incentive.
Yeah,
What is that? Package scheme incentive.
package scheme of incentive, PSI.
Okay, and for men entrepreneur eligible for 30% subsidy. If it is 50 crores my project cost, so I am eligible for 5 crore subsidy cost or only for 30 lakhs. That is not clear. Earlier you mentioned for the 10 crore project cost, I will be getting 5 crore subsidy. Now you are saying that only 25 lakhs is maximum. And men also eligible, men entrepreneur.
You are asking for women entrepreneur?
No, for men entrepreneur is eligible for a subsidy.
Yes,
For
yes,
20
definitely.
Definitely.
Women entrepreneur I mentioned additionally, but for everyone otherwise in various zones, men, women, everyone is eligible. If you are women, you are getting this additional around 15, 20 up to 1 more crore.
I am a 1% company OPC for one director for private limited. So how much the maximum subsidy I will get? Only 30 lakhs or up to 5 crore also I can get? For Pune
What is
or
your
Kolkata.
investment? What is your investment?
I am planning to invest for oxygen production for 50 crore. So this is in Pune.
In Pune and Bombay,
Bombay?
you can definitely try in the name of women, and C-zone benefit you might get for that. Government has announced one more thing for oxygen production, 50% land cost if you take it from MIDC. MIDC is giving it at 50%. That is a recent circular.
50%
But
cost.
MIDC rack rates, compared to rack rate, 50% incentive is declared by the Maharashtra government very recently.
So at the time during the commercial production, I will get 50% or after 7 years?
In the land itself, you will get 50% discount. Land cost I'm talking about. If you want to start in leased land, no question. IDC land, you will get 50% discount. That's what they are saying. They have said. There is a circular already.
MIDC in Pune or Bombay? Which district?
Sorry?
MIDC in which district they have plots?
Any part of Maharashtra.
Oh, they have. Okay. Entire
Any
Maharashtra they are.
or I think they have given a few districts. No, it is not for every district. They have again specified the districts. If I'm not wrong, again these Marathwada, the Konkan region, there they want to do that.
So if I want to have a 50% subsidy, then I should look at C or D, right? D plus.
Yes.
That
See,
is
50% on land. Then if you want to go for say if it is in the name of anyways OPC and you are one person company, then you have to go for any of these zones, because Pune, Mumbai, they are all A zone. So if you want to go for 40% subsidy, you have to be either a woman entrepreneur or you have to go for these zones.
okay. 40% means woman entrepreneur.
Yeah.
If it is men entrepreneur, maximum 30. Yeah?
If it is men entrepreneur, you have to go for C zone. You cannot make it in Pune and Mumbai.
Oh, Pune, Mumbai.
So you have to go to little bit suburban areas. Like you go to, say, if you talk about Pune, you have to go to Satara district, Solapur district, Nagar district, like that.
Okay. And for oxygen production, if it is 50 crores is project cost, means I will get 25 crore subsidy.
Yes, if you are in C zone, it is 40%.
40%. So 40% means 20 crores they will give, not restricted to 30 lakhs. No.
No, there is no restriction. There is no, in fact, the higher cap is not there in PSI. If you are in a particular zone, you are investing so and so amount, 40% of your investment.
PSI means a package. Package scheme incentive, but various in Tamil Nadu, this is not available. Package scheme incentive, only
This is
30 lakhs is
Maharashtra
maximum.
specific. Yeah, this is Maharashtra specific. In Tamil Nadu,
Okay.
in few regions, like
Ah.
Sipcot, what I have heard is, so there are few
Okay.
incentives, but they are not as lucrative as Maharashtra. In fact, entire country when we study, every state
Yeah.
has some other policy, but
Yeah, but Maharashtra
has
is top quality, sir. Top quality scheme. But in Tamil Nadu, restricted to 30 lakhs only, sir. Maximum scheme. Wherever I
maybe.
go, it goes everywhere. Whatever the scheme. 10 scheme is there means nobody will exit 30 lakhs maximum ceiling.
True. Possible.
But Maharashtra is looking very nice because in the world ranking, Maharashtra and Delhi is taken, but Tamil Nadu is
Maharashtra has the best policy.
outdated. Best rated for rating. And for if I come to there without collateral free, I can get the loan instead of doing the oxygen production plant in Tamil Nadu. If I do it in Pune or Maharashtra, will be better. They will give me loan.
Certainly. See, every state has a policy.
Okay. I am from my KYC in Tamil Nadu, but if I come to Maharashtra, they will entertain.
You can form any company in any part of India, including Jammu and Kashmir, because of 370. Fortunately, now you can form a company. But you can form a company. We welcome you to Maharashtra. You come form a company. We can help you. Nilesh is there to help you.
But banker, they will agree for with collateral free. For since I am
collateral free loan, if you are talking about, it is the limit is 2 crores.
So 2 only. That is CGT you are talking about, right?
Sorry.
CGT scheme you are talking about.
That is 2 crores. For 50 crore. For 50 crore project, you should have some. One need to have some collateral or
need to have an alternate provision. Now I am moving to Tamil Nadu government to have relaxation for the COVID-19 for oxygen protection. This is a special project for COVID. I asked them for a relaxation since I am from industrialist pilot.
Yes.
Because
I also suggest you take it offline because there are other people and other questions also. Yeah, I think.
So there is one question here, Raju Chupalla, I think. So 3 ladies, 4 partners. So you will not qualify under the scheme for ladies scheme. So you will go for a normal this thing. And also, does this apply to A zone? A zone and B zone. If you are lady entrepreneur, you will get C zone. That's what they are saying. Is the agency same to avail other incentives? Yes. It is the Ministry of Industries. There are various authorities they have defined. If micro and small hai to yahan jao, medium hai to yahan jao. But the department is same. And all online, as I said. Is there agencies? How to get updated regularly on such information? Any website, best website to get clear information. See, Chirag ji, basically there is website of DC MSME, Development Commissioner MSME, that has all national policies. That is India, Government of India policies are there on that. State government policies, yes, Government of Maharashtra also has a portal. We can get it there, but one portal for state and central government as of now is not there. We have to search at least two websites. So information session. Okay. Thank you.
So Maheshwarji, I think because of that women policy, maybe little bit people got confused, but everything you spoke about is for male or like any kind of formation. The key is the zone, right? Based on the zone, you get percentage. And if it is a woman only kind of a venture, then you get additional benefits. That's what the crux is, what the whole discussion was. Right?
Perfect. Right.
And I think this A, B, C, D, D plus has been there for quite some time. It's just that not too many people are aware and are able to exploit the benefits is what. And that's why, we have tried to bring you on here so that people are aware, get more details about this PSI scheme.
Correct.
Yeah, and people can email you. I think your email was there on the last slide. I'll just again put it.
No issue. Yes. Should I show it again?
Yeah, if you can show it again.
Yeah, this is my email ID.
Yeah, so people can reach out to you.
Certainly.
So great. I think it was a great session. And I guess there are, we want to bring you more often. I know there are other topics also, maybe PMFME, PLI and all that. It's very hard to find your time. I know you've been busy with all the voluntary work at COVID related things at PCMC and Pune. So we thank you. And Diksha, can you propose a official vote of thanks?
Sincerely thank you to Marathe sir for your time and a very enlightening session. Thank you to our support partners, SST Mumbai chapter, Entra2, NetProgram, and All India Food Processors Association. Thank you all the participants for attending today's session. I declare the session. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.